Hi, welcome to the coaching game. And I'm so thrilled to say that I have one of my favorite people back again, Dorota Raniszewska. Hey, Dorota, how you doing?
Hi, Laurie. Hi, Laurie. Thank you
Yeah.
for inviting me here. I'm fine. I'm connecting from Warsaw now, from Warsaw, Poland.
Okay, yeah. So I know there's a little bit of a time difference, but that's okay. We're working on that. I'm actually learning European time. I like that. Um, Let me tell you why I asked her back. Dorota came up with this idea of she's a lovely photographer, an amazing photographer. But she came up with this idea of having a symposium um, for photography and coaching. And it was like, that's interesting. I've never heard of that before. And a couple of my friends are going, I've never heard of that either. And so she is having a symposium that she has put together, and it's happening on November 18th. Okay, Americans, take a nap. It's 9:30 to midnight, but that's okay. Take a nap, and you'll be there. But so, and she already has like close to 200 people coming to this. So it's like, one, how did you do it? But no, we really want to know what made you come up with this idea? What a fantastic idea.
Okay, so yes, I'm also very excited. First of all, I'm very excited and happy about that idea. It's the first time I'm going to organize, and I do organize, and I'm going to host a symposium, an international symposium on photography and coaching. Yeah, so photography has become really a way to personal development programs, to therapeutic activities for many years. And I hope and I wish it will be developing in coaching too. So as you know, I've been developing these various ways of using photography and photographs, personal photographs in coaching for years already. And I've been teaching that. But still, what I'm seeing is that by design, coaching clients have good access to their resources, enabling satisfactorily verbal work and verbal results. So I hope that this symposium will really encourage coaches to use clients' photographs and photography, because powerful questions are not the only ways to trigger clients' reflection. There's so much, in our lives that remains unspoken, but it can be sensed, it can be felt, and it's connected to our inner landscape. So I, I'm I'm organizing that symposium because I've been developing that field since more than 10 years already. And I've published a book, and I've published several articles. I've been teaching, organizing webinars. But since I've been teaching, there are many other people, coaches, other mental health, well-being professionals who attended and completed my course, and they adapt, and they have been adapting what I'm showing to them, to their practices. And I thought, wow, why not to make a symposium? And actually, to the symposium itself, to the idea to do that symposium, well, as usual, it's a long story. so so the beginning of this, big online worldwide spreading of ideas became, of course, in March 2020, when the pandemic broke out. At that time, I was organizing a photography in coaching course in Warsaw, but since the pandemic broke out, people could not come. And we've waited until it ends and we can meet finally, but it was not coming. That moment was not coming. So we kept meeting online. And there was a group of people, of coaches and other professionals, who kind of became familiar, and we continued being in touch. And I've built really bonds with a group of people who are accredited professional coaches, and also photographers, also other mental health specialists. And when this year I said, wow, we're already showing inside our groups case studies of how you are adapting this photography in coaching to your practice. Why not to go beyond our group and show it to others? And the people who are going to present, Antoinette, Lars, Ivona, Bridget, Rachel, from many countries, they said yes, they accepted the proposal, and we are building the symposium that is going to happen finally on November 18th. And moreover, I also invited Judy Weiser, who is amongst the early pioneers of using photography and photographs in therapy. And she's been developing in phototherapy techniques. And she really accepted the invitation, and she's going to be one of the presenters too. I feel honored and grateful that she will be also with us, because she's a world authority in emotional meanings, of photographs.
That was one of the things I was advanced in, is phototherapy. Oh, I can't wait to hear what that is and how they did. Let me just say, because I think in European countries, people meet face to face more than they do on the phone. And whereas we were trained in America, it's on the phone and blah, blah, blah. And for a while, because you and I have been working together with another group that does some photography, so people were going, well, yeah, that's cool, but how you do that on the phone? Well, now it's much easier thanks to the pandemic. And we know that you can Zoom, you can send the person the photograph, and you can have the person pick out a photograph, whatever. So it's applicable to everybody, and it can be easily used. When I'm amazed, and I test it out every time because I cannot believe the results, how quickly photographs break down that wall that people sometimes have, and just get them talking. I've used it with previously incarcerated men. I mean, they're hard to break down, a piece of cake. Corporate executives, it's just amazing. And now you're bringing together all kinds of people who are using it in every aspect, every different aspect. So kudos to you. I cannot wait to hear what other people are doing with this. What are some of the things that are going to be presented? We said therapy, photo therapy. What else is going to be presented? What are the topics?
Well, yeah, well, I would maybe put it more precisely. So we're not going to show therapeutic uses. We're going to show several case studies, because the symposium is based really on case studies about using photographs, personal photographs, or photography as active activity across multiple coaching and well-being contexts. And this context will include life coaching, inner relationships dynamics, so self-awareness work, personal growth programs, brand and executive coaching, as well as some post-cancer treatment. And we are going to show several aspects also of using photographs. So connecting to your resources, for instance, or expressing creatively your inner thoughts, or expressing your will, your wish, your dreams, connecting to others, connecting to yourself, using active photographs to express, using passive photography photos to better understand what you're building on. For instance, what are your strengths? What is your elements of your personality you can build on? So all of the people who are going to present, they are coaches, really. Only Judy Weiser is a therapist, an art therapist, and she will talk about connection between phototherapy techniques and photography and coaching. Because in fact, what is beyond, what is the foundation of all of that is that photographs have personal meanings to people and emotional significance. And Judy Weiser is really a world expert on this emotional significance of personal photos. She's been developing that field since 60s, past century. And our conversation that we will have in the beginning of the symposium will be like the foundation, like an entry, like a window to the specific case studies and presentations done by coaches. But these will be the case studies from coaching programs.
That's even more fascinating because it's like, well, here's how I'm using it. Here's how it works in my profession. So, and I'm sure coaches are very adaptable and creative, and they can go, oh, I can see where this could work in mine also. So I think that's great. Let me ask you about the feasibility, because there are case studies. Will this be recorded? I mean, and how do you deal with privacy and all that stuff? Is it going to be recorded for those of us who don't want to stay up that late?
Yes, we are going to record the event. I believe it's going to be, I know it already, a very precious event, because it's based on practice. It's real cases from practice of people who are professionals, and it's the first such event really ever in coaching. And so we definitely are going to record it. However, we are not going, it doesn't mean we're going to upload that on YouTube for immediate access, because these are going to be a series of presentations on case studies showing clients' photos and clients in the photos. And we need to be thoughtful about how we're going to use it. So those who really want to attend and see really, each example is going to be different, and each case study is different context and different aspects of using photography. Please come. We have already like almost 200 registrations. I'm going to upgrade my Zoom account.
I think you're going to have to, yeah.
I have to, absolutely. So I hope that everybody who really wants to join us, there is room, there is space, and there is. We are very happy to host everyone. And the event is also on Saturday, I mean, for Europe, it's in the afternoon, Saturday. It takes 3 hours and a half. So I hope that it's really feasible.
Yeah, no, you know, if you want to do it, you'll do it, and if you can't, and I want to say, it's not just something that's going to just happen and then that's it, because Dorota has arranged so that I can, on this show, interview each speaker and get a little bit more in depth as to what they're doing. But that doesn't mean I'm telling you not to go, but I'm telling you it's not, you know, it's not a desperate. You don't, if you really can't make it, you can catch some of the stuff here, but it's going to be a once in a lifetime experience so far, first time ever. And you kind of want to be a part of that. Obviously 190 people want to be a part of it. So how do they register? Where can they find it, Dorota?
It's very easy, actually. And as you said, it's the whole event. And actually, we're working on that since the beginning of that year, really. And we have regular meetings with our presenters. So we're really working on that. And I think the quality will be high. I hope so. But at the same time, it's a live event. So we are going to be all together. And
You never know. And that's what makes it fun too. You just don't know.
This personal, even if online, but it's still a real connection. So it's very easy to connect. It's easy to register. I'm sorry. You go to my website, which is photoincoaching.com/symposium. And we can send this link in the comments to this show.
Okay, yeah.
And when people go to this page, photoincoaching.com/symposium, you need to scroll down and click the button register. And that's it.
Well, yes, and let's bring up the fact that it's free.
And it's free, yes. I have also created an event on Facebook where I post regularly posts. So I've already posted introductions. I introduce every speaker, so people can learn more about the people and their backgrounds and what they do and see their websites. And in the coming weeks, I'm going also to present more stuff there, upload more stuff. So, and I'm also so it's possible to follow us on Facebook as well, on the event on Facebook.
Mhm.
And I also created, using my newsletter application, I've created a closed group newsletter that I'm using to communicate now with those who registered already. So the people who registered will not miss it. Every 2-3 weeks before the event, I'm sending another chunk of information that is in kind of an inspirational content, not too long, and this is the way to keep going and keep the momentum and not to lose it finally.
Okay, let me just clarify one thing. I think is the photo in coaching, are there dashes in between the words?
Yes,
Okay,
photo-in-coaching
right.
dot
.com/symposium. Not Composium. I'm sorry,
symposium.
Oh man, talking about, okay. So if you can't get that, then you can check on Facebook. It's in photography and coaching on the page there. Yeah.
Yes.
Are you on LinkedIn also?
I'm also duplicating my post on LinkedIn. So if people just look for my name, Dorota Raniszewska, on LinkedIn, I'm always posting this on LinkedIn. So people who prefer or simply are not on Facebook, but they are on LinkedIn, they can find information on LinkedIn as well.
And I like the idea because you're going to put a connection in the comments on this show. So
Yes, that's a good idea, I
we're
think.
not hiding, so there's no excuse. You can find her everywhere, which is so fantastic. Um, let me. I want to just figure out, not figure out, but get straight. It's like, okay, what made you say I'm going to put together a symposium? And what experience did you have in doing this? Because I'm sure people are going, wow, how did she do that? I know you said you've been working on it for years, but did you, the marketing and all of that, how did you get that all together? And all the people, it's hard to get people to be in one place at one time. So
Well, I think I'm known already as world known really as developer of photography and coaching. I started exploring and developing that field, let's call it that way, years ago already, and I wrote the book One Image, Many Words, and many people know who are interested. But of course, social media are very helpful. And so the people who, as I look at who registers, I see people who have been already coming to my webinars that I've organized in the past.
okay.
Many, I see people who are coaches and they have been interested in the field. Judy Weiser is also facilitating a very large group on Facebook that is kind of a place that of meeting, an agora, like using a Latin term, an agora for me, people who are interested in photography in various fields. Can be art therapy, can be therapeutic photography, can be phototherapy techniques, can be coaching, personal growth. It's a group that is now having like 8,000 people plus. So I'm also posting there, so it reaches many people. So using social media and the newsletter, people register, and it's easy to nowadays.
For you, yeah.
I've been teaching a lot since years, and my course that I'm doing every year on photography and coaching has been accredited by ICF since 6 years already. So it's not new. In fact, it's a niche, still a niche area, but niche to coaching. But there is already a large group of people who are interested. And actually, photography really is a part of our daily life nowadays. So people naturally understand that there is a point to talk about photographs in our lives. And since people come to coaches because something in their life requires attention, focus has a potential to be improved or use an opportunity. So many of these things are in our photos.
Well, everybody is a photographer with their little cameras and their phones,
Nowadays,
and it's
yeah.
like, yeah, and it's
It-
interesting rather than, I don't know, maybe taking pictures of meals and therapeutic in some way, but there are just, I'm always curious. It's like, well, what made you take that picture, you know? And
Exactly, but that's exactly the question. That's a very good question for a coach to ask. What did you take this, to take this picture? And then people immediately start to think, and they are very quickly taken to a kind of a reflection on what triggers them, what's important to them, what's in their mind right now. So you can build up from starting from such a question and following what the client is saying, you can build a beautiful coaching session.
absolutely. Yeah, one of my favorite ways to start a workshop or anything is to have people introduce themselves through a picture. And it
Absolutely.
makes it so much easier rather than go, hi, I'm a coach and blah, blah, blah. Because nobody's listening, they're thinking about, you know, but it breaks and it becomes more personal and it becomes more honest, I think. You know, I don't know. I guess that's fair. Honest, that's a good word. Yeah. So it's and I wanted to talk to you about the power of pictures in the few minutes that we have left. But I do want to let people know you do have a book out there. You slipped over it real quickly. It's called One Image, Many Words, and I think that explains part. You got a message that you want to send, and it's like, whoa, this picture has a lot of stuff behind it, and it's all in our heads. It's how we interpret that picture and what it means to us. We can both look at the same picture. You're going to get something out of it, and I'm going to get something out of it, but it's not going to necessarily coincide, but that's okay because it's mine and it's yours. So let's just, what is the power of the visual image? What turned you on to this to start? Let's talk about that because you were way ahead of the time, I think. I don't think people were doing this. What made you say, wait a minute, this is a tool that I can really expand and share? What made you do that?
Yeah, so well, the beginning is 2008, 2007, 2008. I've been very engaged now by my family research project, and I've been talking to many, let's say, older people, older generations people, as well as traveling around the world to know more about my family. And I just saw that when photos are put on the table, or when I take a photo and show a photo and ask a question, people immediately engage. But what happens even more, is that people recall events and small details. It's like with an image, there comes back the memory. But at the same time, for many people, once they start talking about a photo that connects to their life, they engage and they become like they open up, but they also seem very self-confident about what they're saying.
Yeah.
And just seeing that, observing that with an eye of a coach, I said, wow, if I start using personal photos with my clients so they can connect more to what's important to them, I just said I have to try. And I remember there was a moment I once went to it was far before, the online era. I entered the room of an executive, and there was a photograph on the table, on the desk. And I just said, oh, what a beautiful photograph on the desk. And it was someone from a family. And the conversation started immediately. And the situation was that I was a coach and he was an executive, and I was supposed to have an executive coaching conversation and meeting. But we immediately were in a in a conversation about something private, something personal, and this executive, this person could immediately be with me, not in this role of an executive, but in the role of a human being, still being an executive, but also having a personal story. And these little experiences made me just use it with confidence without even looking much for evidence, because the evidence was not existing, but life was showing me, and the experience was just showing me that it works simply.
That's
And
so
this is how I
interesting.
started, looking for some literature, and this is how I found about Judy Weiser and other pioneers of phototherapy techniques. And I could see that photography was already used in therapy, which was an important fact to learn, because I was not in the vacuum.
I know that the photograph, and I love the story. We don't have time for it, but I do love the story. A photograph started you on your world tour of looking for your family, and it was just a photograph that it was like, okay, and you found parts of your family. It's so interesting that you say that, because I mentor coaches sometimes, and they always go, God, I'd love to be an executive coach, but I can't do that. And I have to remind them, executives are people too, and it's not the title. It's like I love what you said, human to human. It's then you can do executive stuff if you want, or you can just continue with the human to human, which I think gets you much further. But that's my
Well,
personal opinion.
if I can still comment on that, it's because in executive coaching, it's a very special case to use personal photos, because this is exactly what helps me to very quickly help and assist these executives in connecting, so they can connect easier to these elements of personality that are not necessarily the most wanted, like empathy, relationships. So if they, let's say, pretend they are not very human, they are tough, or they can't delegate, or they are too serious, and they are sent for coaching, for instance, to improve the people relationship side, it's very easy to, from personal photos, it's very easy to start a conversation about what happens, that they don't always use these elements of their personality,
We are
but
out of
not
time.
necessarily they are missing them.
Yes, we're out of time, but you're going to tell everybody on
Oh,
the 18th how they can use that. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Dorota. And I know you'll be back. Take care.